is the article in the 86 November Car and Car Conversions. And this is what we are going to try and recreate today. This documents his full day in the Welsh Forest, in the cars, rallying. There's obviously the Metro that we're taking along. There's the little Metro, looks like he's spun off. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity to recreate this photograph for obviously the 30 years of Ayrton Senna passing away. So let's get on the road, let's get into Wales, because not only am I excited to play in the Metro, I'm super excited to recreate this picture. So we have arrived at the meeting point. Butler Birch is well left to have the day off. There's the car, a bit dirty on the trailer, but look at where we are. This is going to be insane. Middle of the Welsh Forest, and we're about to go rallying in a 6R4. This is going to be a brilliant day. So back in 1986, Ayrton Senna was driving for Lotus. He said he wanted to go rally driving for the day, experience the cars, experience a bit of rally driving. So the collective got together and got a selection of cars for Ayrton Senna to go into the Welsh Forest and rally. There was our 6R4, there was a Group A Sierra Cosworth, there was, from what I can gather, a 2-litre Golf. There was a rear-wheel drive Getrag Escort and a Nova. So everyone's just turned up. So to put in perspective, this is Kevin. Kevin is the man who arranged the 6R4 to be here on the day. He worked at Rover and had to do the original press release. So it turns out only 3 of the cars have survived. The Sierra, the Nova and the Metro. The Nova is at the far top of Scotland. Unfortunately, couldn't get it here on time. This is the Sierra, so we're going to recreate, obviously, the photograph of the two together on the actual site with them stood next to it. Yeah, it's looking cool. We're just swapping around cars because it's a bit of an off-roady circuit and the car who's towing the Sierra won't get up. Luckily, we brought a Defender to get us up. The reg is C64WDU, and that was given to it by Kevin at Austin Rover. This is the original plate off it, and as you can see, C6R4, which is obviously 6-cylinder, 4-wheel drive, but then obviously you had the 64, and then it was meant to be MG for you. That's why you picked this plate to go with this car on the press release for this Ayrton Senna photo shoot. Look at the scenery we've got here. Look at this. I'll tell you what though, it's been, never mind a rally circuit, it's been an off-road circuit, but we're getting our way up to the top. I don't know if we're unloading them here or we're waiting for someone else to come up, but wow, this has been insane. So this looks like it's the location we found. This is where it is. We're just getting the photographs up now out of the Car and Car Conversion magazine and basically overlaying it to the background so we can basically redo it. Hopefully this isn't too soft. It's not too soft. Look at this, amazing. Look at this. I'm tempted to say, can I hide the track for a few more hours to have some proper fun, but no, this looks mega. Right, so what we're pointing out so we can make sure, so if you look at the picture, in the corner, the back of the Nova, there's a post. And that's the base of the post. So basically, it looks like it's facing this way. So they were all facing backwards there. The Nova was in this area, and that's the post. So we're all here, let's unload the trailer, well looking forward to it. If this isn't living the dream, I don't know what is. This is wild. And I'm really looking forward to sitting down with Kevin, who was the original press guy with his car, to basically talk about the original story of the day, find out what happened, but what a privilege this has been. And I can't thank the brother from another mother, Mr. Hunter, Too Many Cars, unfortunately not on social media no more, for borrowing me this. So Sierra's off the trailer, now we're literally painstaking, and now we're gonna move the pair of them to try and get the angle, the shot, the picture, the height, everything. But this is once in a lifetime with this, once in a lifetime. So this is us trying to recreate it. We've all got the photographs out in the books. Kevin's brought the original day book, which is there, and we're kind of all lining them up with the pictures to make sure we've got it. We've got them together, and then look at that. I just can't wait to the road. The moving shots, me. Can we do moving shots all afternoon? I'll make a good race driver, would you, Birch?
Well,
What the hellfire?
I'm not used to this, am I?
Warm, I'd say that much. Jesus. Sweating, my glasses are steaming up. Right. Are we ready?
Ish. Let's go.
Ready for your first experience?
Put aircon on that.
Got in it.
Not as loud as yours though.
Concentration in my face! This is nearly £1 million 6R4
And there's drops everywhere.
and there's drops! We're on road tyres, so come on sheep, get out of the way!
Definitely not a small speed car. Some experience that, man.
It's weird experience, isn't it?
Tell you what, it sings though, doesn't it?
Oh, when he wants to go, he wants to go. Oi!
First time driver.
Concentrating!
I never told you about passing.
That was what you call concentration, mate. Jesus! These are amazing, these cars. Wow! Ooh, I feel alive! Jesus Christ! Wow!
Who do I speak to for whiplash?
That was insane.
It's on gravel.
That was insanely good. Wow.
Oh, wow.
How'd you like that, mate?
Mate, honest to God.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, mate. I'm glad you enjoyed the experience.
Oh my God.
Awesome, mate. I'm glad I've done it for you. Down the bottom now with the rally circuit. We're literally going to load the trailers up, get down to the pub, and then I'm going to have a good conversation with Kevin. Obviously, I've introduced Kevin. Kevin, obviously, the gentleman who brought this car from the press from Austin Rover for Senna to use. So he was here on the day it happened. Be nice to get some conversation with him to see how the day went. So we're going to get down to the pub. I'm going to buy him a beer, and we're going to have a bit of a chinwag about the Senna day. the very beginning. You started at Rover, Austin Rover.
Yep, Austin Rover. My first job was in the press garage, and that's where I was when this eventuality took place.
So was the 6R4 already, on, let's say, on the car lot and in the manufacturers, ready to go, pre-registered?
So it was, of the 200 cars, they knew they had to, or they felt they should, campaign the sale of the 200 cars. So
Right.
have a press car, literally took from stock. We had it prepared. As I mentioned earlier, we had a dedicated motorsport expert, if you like, look after the car.
Okay.
And that car was deployed to a lot of PR opportunities. So as I understand it, so Russell Bolgin, a prolific journalist even by that time, very friendly in circles, he called himself as a friend of Ayrton, and put this idea together of him driving rally cars for a day,
Okay.
with a progressive amount of performance and ability.
Started at the Nova, going up to the Metro, yeah.
Well, as it turned out, but of course the original remit was to try and get works cars from Peugeot,
Was it really?
Yeah,
Right,
from
okay.
Lancia and Ford,
Right.
as a Group B spectacular.
Right.
But they for whatever reasons withdrew. For whatever reasons, Austin Rover carried on, and it seemed actually a nicer way for him to have experienced a progressive rally experience.
Yeah, to go from the Nova at 1.3 front-wheel drive thing, then it was
The Golf.
probably the Golf at a
Yeah.
2-litre front-wheel drive, then it would be
The Gartrag Escort.
the Getrag Escort, which is probably a 2-litre rear-wheel drive, Sierra 2-litre turbo rear-wheel drive, and then the Metro at a 4-wheel drive.
And that was the order that he went.
Was it really? Right, okay.
Yeah. So
Right.
you could see it was more familiarity. I mean, always he had the talent, and it was just a sensible progression to accelerate his experiences.
Right. How old are you at this time? You don't mind asking at the time?
I would have been probably 22.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
The car's on the trailer. You and one of the engineers you told me came with one of the mechanics.
He was just a press garage mechanic. Yeah.
Wasn't a motorsport mechanic, just a press car, or was it the kind of?
Well, this car was untouchable in the press garage. You weren't allowed to go anywhere near it because it wasn't going to be moved around just like a normal car.
Okay.
So anybody who was found anywhere near it, it was forbidden.
Right.
So this mechanic would have had familiarity with the vehicle, but again, short straws and opportunity. It was just felt, oh, there's a little job to just go and do, sort of thing. So he was deployed.
You've turned up to the track we've been to. We've unloaded. Now was Ayrton there? Was you ready to go? How did the day pan out?
So we were all there in this kind of a cul-de-sac lay-by. You just drew in or whatever, and everybody unloaded because we knew at that time we couldn't get. We had a Range Rover and trailer in actual fact. So we unloaded the rally cars because it was advised we'd drive the rally cars to the location because of the river, and you've been down there today to know how bad it was. So we waited and we waited, and then suddenly this 500 SEL turns up, black, 2-door, venomous looking, fantastic thing. But all Formula 1 drivers at that time had them. It was standard issue.
Right, okay.
Every Formula 1 drive had that. So that was Russell and Ayrton. Or perhaps Russell was there. I can't remember now. But there was certainly a sense of the Messiah has arrived.
Okay.
Yeah. It really was like that.
I can imagine. Yeah. People say that. Yeah. People say that when they've met him and been in around him.
And then don't get me wrong. He was only a Lotus. He was a Formula 1 driver, so he got that ilk. But he already had a prominence of understanding at that time. But it was still early days. I mean, he'd only done Tolman, just got into JPS drive.
Yeah.
Better things for him were about to happen. So these were still early days. Well, we got all the cars up to the top.
Yes.
And it felt like a bigger area than it was at
Today.
the time, but it can't have been any bigger. So it was explained to him what was going to happen, but there were intervals, and I found myself literally, because it wasn't a lot of people and they were either busy preparing their cars ready to go or whatever, but in a gap I just found myself talking to him. You just felt you were talking to somebody, a brotherly type discussion, because there was no premise of I am or whatever. He was just a very
nice fella.
Yeah.
So for me, is obviously I understand Formula 1 and I understand rallying. They're completely different animals on driving skills. Did he go in with someone who showed him the ropes? What was the...
If I remember correctly, he always had somebody with him, either of that vehicle ownership. Why not?
Yeah.
Because it would have been sensible if it hadn't had a problem, they'd know how to fix it. Being the generous sort of person I am, I gave my mechanic the first drive. Now, it wasn't strictly for me to have that, but I was effectively there to be in charge, otherwise what role and purpose was I to have? So I gave Noel this drive, this passenger ride, and off he went. And I'm thinking to myself, why am I so stupid to be so generous, But what happened was he drove all the cars in sequence, drove the 6R4, and then I think he either went in the Sierra again, maybe. But then he as good as told us, I like the 6R4 because it's very responsive. I'm just strapping this engine on the back. I haven't got turbo lag. I haven't got all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
I can really sense and play. So I want to go in the Metro again. So that was my chance. I wasn't going to give it up again. So I sat in the car, and walking towards us are all the marshals. I say all the marshals, only probably five on each corner, one on each corner. But they're all coming up, so it's lunchtime. Well, he just sat in the car. I sat in the car. They were talking to us as if we were, interviewing. Well, not interviewing me, interviewing him. I'm just captive there with him for probably 20 minutes, half an hour.
Wow, okay.
And just to even be in his company was something, but to have been, as it were, trapped. but it was just, one of those pleasurable moments. Yeah. I was always struck by the fact we've got a precipice on one side and what looked like a mountain or a big hill on this side, and here we are. I'm looking through the A post.
Yes,
I'm literally always going sideways. Yes. This time, and the way, because it was down as well. If you want to go fast and you want to be safe, you want to go uphill. It seems when you're going down, you're either on the throttle or you're dancing.
The weight to push you along.
Well, but either you're braking or you're accelerating. Yeah. So I was excited, but there's a bit of horror, trepidation and excitement and horror, to be honest. I'm fully capable of knowing what he's doing, but the thing that immediately I grasped with him is he would dial in the steering wheel to whatever degrees he knew. He wasn't doing the Tiffany-Dale shake.
Yes.
He was, and rally cars are all about actually putting the back end out at times, but he was precise. You could see he was a track driver, but he got a proficiency and understanding for what was even expected in rallying for the first day he tried it.
Wow.
And you were absorbed by his car control and precision, and he just literally dialed in that angle, and that angle was sufficient to get him round in that trajectory. It was beautiful to witness. So I was still excited and scared going down. When it came to turning around, and you think, I know what to expect, I know how far we've gone now, I know how many corners, I was then adrenaline fueled, and I was saying, go on, as if to, because and in some ways probably he knew that was his last drive of the day.
Yes.
So there was a bit of red mist, but it was fantastic. But again, I couldn't see much apart from this A-post.
So at the time when this was, I think, 86?
Yes.
86. Where was the campaign for the Group B era at that time for the Metros? Was it at full tilt? Because I can't remember the years, you see, I'm a bit hazy.
It was at its peak, and that would have been the year when everything happened and then fell over.
Right, I see.
So we didn't know it, but...
So it was very good at the time for Austin Rover to take this Metro and...
Well, it was in some ways foresight that they pursued that, but perhaps by the fact the others didn't turn up, then it's their loss. But we can also say that in hindsight, it's a bit like product placement. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And from our point of view, as Austin Rover, they, as you might know, perhaps struggled to sell all those cars, and any opportunity to promote that was a good opportunity. Had
the 200 road cars been sold by then, or were there still some in stock? Were you struggling to shift them? What was the...
Well, I was never at the sharp end of having to sell them, but as my understanding was, they were struggling probably to sell. Oh yeah, they took a long time to relinquish those cars, and in fact, only the opportunities of this world took those, and of course, probably Ford had an even bigger problem because they were late, the last ones to deliver.
Right, okay.
So, some of those cars were put on the road as, even the 6R4, there was an Autosport had a prize to win one.
Did they really?
So, yeah, D222 ERW, I think it was a road car won by
really? Wow.
Lucky person.
That's mad, isn't it? Because I say, nowadays, I suppose everyone think they are these, unfortunately, these untouchable, expensive cars that no one can go near. But I have seen some articles.
It was £40,000 then, so it was
so
still
brand new.
Yeah, it's still out of reach for the normal person.
Yeah.
We all would have liked to have one, but couldn't, of course, run one. Cracky, a new car would have been 15 grand, as far as perhaps a Vitesse or something like that.
Bloody hell,
so
right.
40 was a lot out of reach. Yeah.
So obviously we're here today to recreate that day. How did this journey? How have you enjoyed it? Has it been an imprint on your brain? Is it something you've always remembered? Is it a massive part of your life?
I've been dining out on this story ever since. So from a PR person, I've had two jobs, and they were both PR. And when you get your first big gig, clearly everything's going to be downhill.
Yeah.
Arguably, I've had some other good things, but never anything has beaten this. So that memory lives with me, and I've conveyed that. I found myself writing up that story. Never worried about I'd forget it, but wanted to make sure every little element of it was recorded. And I managed to get it into Car Sport, an Irish publication, and I thought, well, hang on a minute, I can do better than that. So I got into the MG Enthusiast magazine, and that's where it's been published. To have a phone call on a Monday, to be somewhere on a Thursday, and to recreate that day that's lived with you very strongly is a very special moment.
What does this feel like after
It feels good. I feel just
30 odd years?
Only a bit guilty. I've been in here twice.
Like I say, it'll be going to probably end up in a museum, unfortunately.
It will.
I get they're very, very expensive, but people want to see them.
Well, that's also true.
People want to see them. So I get to put them in a museum, but when you like say, so a lot of doing my videos is with my son,
Okay.
and he's the new era of cars. So when I say to him, Group B era is the best era ever, because he can't understand why I'm infatuated with S1E2s, the Audi Quattros. I'm building one now. Love him.
Okay.
And he's like, I don't really understand. So the more we're doing this, and we're taking him out in this, and he's like, I fully get it. I get it, because it's just. Well, it might not be the fastest car in the world, but it's the noise, the experience.
They'd like Ford Anglias just because of Harry Potter, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
That's where they get it. So if they can see it on a game or whatever, suddenly it comes alive for them.
Correct. And get a bit in front. Is that how you remembered it?
It's true, yeah. I mean, the route down was like a frightening experience. On the way back, it was like, I want some more. You know? But I can only ever see out the A post.
I see.
So I had two views. When you're on it, it floats like an airplane.
It's beautiful. You can once you're on driving like this, it's horrendous.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to go anywhere. It's terrible. But as soon as you start opening it up and going for it,
It's in flight. It's what it wants to do best.
the Dipsy Creek. I hate that.
Right, free.
I hate it.
Thank you.
Anytime. I'm glad. Like I say, I'm super chuffed you've come
That's all right. I'm pleased.
to experience it. Yeah. So what a day! Fantastic. So not only have I been able to take Butler Birchie out for a drive, make his little dream come true, because this is his dream car. We've met Kevin, who's obviously the guy who worked for Austin Rover, who basically put the reg plate on the car, who organised the full day for Senna. I've been able to have a bit of a rally drive up on the hills in the car before potentially it gets sold and moves on to the next person. So yeah, ticked every single box off, spoke to the people, heard the stories, got the Senna experience. What more can I say? This is an adventure and I'm loving every single minute of it. And as you know, the Group B era is the best era and I absolutely love it. I hope you enjoyed that full video. I hope you enjoyed the interview. I hope you enjoyed a bit of the driving of the car. Really had an amazing day. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care guys, and I'll see you all on the next video.